after win, ripping the division apart. Panthers, they pussycats. Falcons got bird flu. Take the Ravens and Dolphins and open up a zoo. Cause one thing's for sure, better than the Bucs, they show lane. No way. And every day in Tampa Bay, we say fuck the Saints. We in Tampa, baby. 813 going crazy. Tampa, boy. This Bucs podcast be the greatest. Loose cannons blasting on them haters. And we in Tampa, baby. Tell them where you from. 813 going crazy. Yeah. This Bucs podcast be the greatest. Loose cannons blasting on them haters. Now when I say the loose cannons, what? Do you know what I mean? I'm talking Papi Latte, Stank Bastard, and Samurai Lee. You ain't never...
What is up, Bucs Nation? It is September 26, 2024, and it's officially hurricane season, if you guys didn't know. You're watching the Loose Cannons podcast, officially part of the 813 Network, which can be found at the813.tv. All of our podcasts live there, including Fully Loaded, Moneyline Dogs, Inside the 813, and of course, The Huddle with Benjamin Albright and Jake Arians, and of course, yours truly, the Loose Cannons, with my boy Latte and Stanker, who cannot be with us because apparently he's floating down a river that used to be a road, which might soon become a lake. So, okay, here we are. We got Latte. He's looking okay, but he's a little bit delayed. Internet's got a little thing going on, so we're gonna go Japanese style, like he said before the show.
Listen, I want to make a statement before we start in these subjects. Listen, I'm here. We are men of the people. You know what I mean? Like, there's 80-mile winds outside my house right now. I'm running this off of a generator, but there's a show scheduled today, and it's time to show up. Like, the Bucs need to show up on Sunday. So, yes, it's going to look kind of Japanese movie, kind of weird, a little bit delayed, but we're going to get through this together, okay? We're a little banged up, like the Bucs, but we're going to get through this.
Hell yeah. So, speaking of that, of course, everybody knows big game this Sunday, and Latte, from everything we're hearing inside that building, and at these press conferences, these guys have a terrible taste in their mouth, and they cannot wait to get out there and not really avenge the loss, but make up for what they did last weekend against the Broncos. A lot of guys, Zion said he's embarrassed at what they put out there. And so they're eager to bounce back this Sunday against the Eagles and prove to themselves that they're not a fluke, and also kind of silence some of those critics outside of one Buck that have been, claiming that maybe the Bucs have just gotten lucky for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we're going to see. We talked about that on Monday. I love the leadership. The leaders, Mike Evans spoke about it. Baker took accountability, spoke about it. But the Zion kid, Sam, the Zion kid. Let's talk about the development of Zion, bro. I loved what he said after the game. He's like, they were happy. We were happy for 2 weeks. They were pissed off for 2 weeks. We thought we were just going to roll the ball across the field, and we got punched in the mouth. That's a statement. That's a statement to the locker room. I like it. So I agree with you. I think they have a nasty taste in their mouth. I think, what was it Todd said? We don't need to prove people right. We need to prove people wrong. Right. Prove ourselves right. Yeah. Prove ourselves right. Let's go back to proving people wrong. Let's go back to that. Yeah, I'm just saying. Like, I'm not a coach, Todd, but let's not worry about proving people, whatever. The thing,
So
I feel like George.
A lot of people are going to say that they're just saying what they're supposed to say. It's coach speak, player speak, that whole thing. But man, these words mean something. Most of the time, players don't just say shit to say shit. But Baker came out there, took ownership of some of it. My fault, guys. Last week's performance, my fault. Shouldn't have walked into some of those sacks. Shouldn't have held the ball too long. Should have taken the shots when they were available to me and thrown the ball. So he took ownership, leadership. But then he spoke about how he's got to get back on track. They got to get back to Buccaneer brand of football, what they're known to do, and how they're, how they feel that they should be playing. And again, Zion, dude, how about going from people considering him a dud of a draft pick to now a leader in the room, now a leader in the locker room on the defensive side of the ball, with the absence of Antoine, who's still a leader, obviously, while he's injured, but not on the field. So it's a little bit different. Having Zion step up and say all the right things and say, hey, we got to go out there and let's go fix this, because that was embarrassing. We are not happy with that. Humiliated by what we put on the field, and we want to go out there and do right by that, which is, those are heavy words, man.
Heavy words. I agree with you, Sammer. Jonas Steckler here says in the chat that so Denver blitzed the crap out of us. Looks like Philly with that 4-6 Bear defense is going to be doing the same thing. Vic Fangio isn't a blitzer. Like through the first 2 weeks of the season, he just doesn't blitz. He wants to send 4, drop 7. That's just what he does. So, I mean, you don't know a game plan, right? They're going to watch film. They're going to, great teams emulate and success leaves clues. So if that's the way they want to attack it, sure, but it would go against everything that he does. That's just not what Fangio does. Sammer, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, the thing here is it's kind of leads into the next topic too, which is the Bucs have to win in the trenches. And so last week, the Eagles, their big boy Jalen, he got massive. He had an amazing game against the Saints. They played a high-scoring Saints team up to that point, a very physical Saints team, by the way, on both sides of the ball. We're no stranger to that. And they held them to 12 points. They've been running the ball. So they clearly won the trenches game there. Now against the Bucs, let's focus on the defensive side of the ball first. With Vita Vea possibly coming back, we don't know what Kalijah Cansey's going to be doing, but the Bucs have to win against the Eagles' offensive guys. They've got to win against that massive offensive line, which is still just as good as it's always been, even without Kelsey. But more importantly, they got to stop that ridiculously talented running back by the name of Saquon Barkley.
It's not fair, dude. It's not fair. You put Saquon Barkley behind the same offensive line that DeAndre Swift, who looks like he's unplayable. Yeah. DeAndre Swift was averaging 4.6 yards, 4.5 yards before contact, and you put Saquon Barkley, a top 5, they said at the time, generational running back who's been insane, but just can't stay healthy because he had no help in New York and the offensive line sucked. It's just not fair. They're playing. It's like 12 on 11. It's not fair.
And the thing is, they might be without Lane Johnson. I think he's still in concussion protocol. I didn't check.
He didn't practice, so I don't think he's going to play.
So more likely not playing. But up to this point, I mean, Saquon Barkley has been the engine of the offense so far, right? Jalen Hurts kind of looked average. He's thrown some interceptions. He's had a little bit of a turnover thing going on. Yeah, so
only 2 touchdowns.
He's not playing sound football. He's playing kind of what he used to do towards the end of his career at Alabama. And one of the reasons he was yanked in that first half against in the national championship game, and then Tua was born. So it's one of those things where he doesn't take what's there and tries to make a bigger play, and eventually working off schedule starts to hurt the rest of the team and the offense struggles. But back to Saquon, in 3 weeks, Latte, you guys see the graphic for those of you watching, 351 rushing yards in 3 games. Okay, that's 117 a game. We haven't had 117 in 3 weeks, okay? Oh, no, in 2 weeks. Sorry, the last 2 weeks, okay? This guy's averaging 117. He's getting 5.6 yards a clip, okay? 4 rushing touchdowns. And last week against that Saints team that we were talking about being physical, 147 fucking yards, dude. What? It starts with him if we're Vita Vea and the Bucs and the defense and Todd Bowles. Starts with that guy, and we need Vita to play in this game.
We do. But I was going to say all those flashy stats, but he dropped the game winner against Atlanta. Thanks.
Yeah, I get it. But
Thanks.
At the end of the day, if he's running for 117 yards against us, it's probably going to be a loss for the Bucs, right? That's difficult, man. Especially if we can't stop them, if they're getting massive chunks. Last week especially, man, they were doing whatever they wanted, the Broncos offense, because we had zero push from those guys in the middle.
You mentioned Vita. If you were in the driver's seat, Sammer, are you bringing Vita back for this game when you already have 2 NFC wins, right? And the following week you play a division opponent, and then the following week you play, I think we play Atlanta. In the next 5 weeks we play Atlanta twice in New Orleans. Like, do you bring Vita back at, I don't know, let's say 70%? You bring him back this week, or you hold him and maybe he's 85, 90% against Atlanta? Divisional.
My thing is like you can't afford to lose a step or in ground with the Saints at this point, or any team in the NFC South. So if you have a guy who can play and it doesn't seem like it's too much of a risk, you got to bring him in, especially after what you did against the Broncos, and you know what the Eagles are going to do, which is run the ball. That's the only way they've really had success, is when they ride Saquon. If you can stop him, I feel like you can push Jalen Hurts into a corner and have him he's not playing good football. And he's not going to be with his guys, more than likely, too. His wide
I was going to say, I was gonna say it rolls into the next subject. He is not playing well. He's my fantasy quarterback and my keeper in a couple leagues. It feels gross because I hate the fucking Eagles. But anyways, he has not been playing well, and he doesn't have his horses. That goes right into the next topic. He does not have his guys. Like when we played that playoff game here that we trounced them, they didn't have AJ Brown either. Like that makes a difference for particularly for Jalen Hurts, obviously. So I don't know. We might see old school Georgia Tech, but we might see the triple option out there, Sam. It might be the Jalen Hurts and freaking Saquon Barkley option show because they have nothing else, and Goddard. That's it. Go ahead. Sorry.
So I was going to say so I agree with you on that, and that's kind of a short topic there. I don't know why that's a topic at this point, but yeah, they're not going to have. They may not have. So it might play into the Bucs' favor. Okay, might play into the Bucs' favor. You got Zion playing out of his mind. Jamel Dean should play better. But not facing Devontae is massive because I think he's the guy that would give us the most problems in terms of the way Jamel Dean's been playing. But not having him and AJ Brown, I mean, that helps the Bucs, but got to stop the run for that to even fucking matter. Last week, no offense to Cortland Sutton, dude, but those guys are not good wide receivers at the Broncos, and they got first downs whenever they wanted to. They passed the ball around the yard, no problem. But I was going to say, in terms of the trenches discussion, a big name coming back, more than likely Luke Gedeke for us, who looks like the MVP right now, Latte.
He does, but pump the brakes because we saw, somebody put a report out there that he was practicing coming back. He's been practicing in a limited fashion. He needs to practice tomorrow and then clear the protocol at, either tomorrow or not tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday or Saturday, and then he can play. But the fact that he's practicing doesn't mean that he's been cleared to play yet. So
he's expected to clear it. Though. That's more, yeah.
Oh, that's expected, yes. But I'm just want to make sure people have the context and pump the brakes because he can go out there tomorrow in practice and the wrong bell rung and he's right back in the protocol again. Like concussions are no joke.
But man,
I hope he's back. I'm praying he comes back.
We need him back because here's the thing: when you look at some of the stuff during his absence, Latte. Everyone knows the 12 sacks have been allowed, but we just said this. Saquon's averaging 117 yards a game. We've ran for 161 over the last 2 games combined. That's 80 and a half. And if you take a couple of chunks out of there and you take away what that massive amount of running that Baker did in Detroit, it's under 100 yards in 2 weeks. That's 50 a fucking pop, dude. On top of that, we can't throw the ball while he's not there. And 2 of the most embarrassing things to look at, honestly, the third down percentage, 24%. 24%. Can't win a lot of games like that. And the one that I think is absolutely a crime, Mike Evans over the last 2 weeks, Latte. 5 receptions, 59 yards, 0 touchdowns. 9 total targets. 9.
2 games, 9 targets. He should be getting 9 targets a game, to be honest with you. And we got to be careful with that, third down percentage thing, because that would include last week where Baker was taking sacks and it was 3rd and 17, 3rd and a mile.
But that's because he's not there. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
He's not comfortable. So Luke makes it. That's why I keep, I called him the MVP before that. But got to get Mike Evans rolling too. Go ahead.
Got to get Mike Evans rolling. Got to target your horses. We heard it from Liam in the offseason. I'm an X's and O guy. I'm a play guy, but I'm about getting my guys involved, my superstars involved. I'm a players guy. Well, let's see it because 13 needs to get the ball. But the way the defenses are treating us now, Sam, is kind of frustrating too, right? I'm kind of like with Mel Kiper. We need to ban cover 2. Okay, I'm kidding, guys. No, but on a serious note, they're daring us to run the ball. We haven't made them pay for it, any of our opponents. And this is a big boy game. Buckle the chin straps, all the old school stupid metaphors and, analogies. And we need to run the ball. And as Zion said, we need to swing first. We need to punch them in the mouth first. Run the ball. If they're going to give it to us and dare us, do it. Run it down, right down their fucking throats, Rashad. Rashad, you want to hear people stop chanting Bucky? You want to hear the murmurs go away? We believe in you. Everybody knows on this podcast, we see it outside of 2 big runs. Like, it's kind of the same shit.
Yeah.
Rashad. So this is your opportunity, bro. Go out there and fucking run somebody over. Put your helmet in somebody's chest. I know he can do it. I'd love to see it.
So the big part of that, though, is Luke. When he was in there in that Washington game, we don't really run the ball very well to Wirf's side, which is a little frustrating considering he's so good, but he's just not that road grading guy so far in the NFL. But when we run behind Luke, who sets the tone for this offensive line, it's pretty good. To have him play in this game would be massive to winning the trenches on our side of the ball and having that run game and being able to basically force the Eagles to have to defend it. That's the thing, like you're talking about. If they saw what the Broncos did last week, they're just going to copycat. and at that point, we gotta force them to change that mindset, change that approach, man. And I really hope Luke plays, because if he doesn't play, this is a completely different game, which is just insane to say about one person who's not catching the ball.
It's not just one person though. We talked about this. I talked about this when I was saying, during the draft, when I was saying, go draft Red's replacement, because what he meant to this franchise can't be, you can't speak enough about it. And I think Luke is that guy now. Not necessarily the center position, but what I mean is he's the glass eater. We remember when they drafted him. People forget they drafted him to be a guard and it didn't work out. But the things they were saying, he's a glass eater, he's an attitude guy. Trust me, he is. He is an attitude guy. That's the guy. I love Tristan Wirfs, but he's not the guy that's going to play to the echo of the echo of the echo of the whistle, right?
Yeah.
Maka's not that. Bredesen isn't that. Barton, maybe one day. He's got some nasty streaks to him, but he's not there yet. He's the third game of his career, right? Gadecki is the guy that's going to set the tone, the mouth, the KJ Britt, the Devin White in years past, the guy that's going to fucking get people going. We miss him. We miss him in that regard. We absolutely miss him. And obviously his play goes without saying, but somebody who's going to set the fucking tone. And it's like, all right, boys, I'm going to go punch that big motherfucker in the mouth. Who's coming with me? You know what I mean? Or it's not like, oh, let's just do our jobs. No, we need that glass eater in there, that tone setter.
And we kind of touched a little bit on that Mike Evans thing. Is I think because of Luke's absence, it's been frustrating in how they get Mike involved, right? But that's also just not an excuse, man. You just can't do that. Like you've got a guy in Mike, you have to get involved, right? You got to find ways to get him the ball. You got to manufacture touches for this dude. To have him look the way he's looked, and that's not even his fault, over the last 2 weeks is just unbelievable, dude. Like it's just insane. It doesn't make any sense. It should never be legal. I mean, we've gone through this for so many years. It feels like every year we have these lulls where we have to demand that Mike Evans sees the fucking ball, which I don't think is the problem this year. It's not a Liam Cohen thing. They're trying to get him the ball, but the offensive line, Luke Gedeke not being out there. Also, the other guys have been absolute garbage too, man. No offense to Tristan Wirfs and the boys, but they have not been good. And that's been part of the reason why we couldn't get the ball to Mike. But man, maybe scheme it up differently. Maybe figure out ways to get him the ball quicker. Give him the ball to where Baker's not running for his life, Luke or not, because they're going to test the offensive line. And you get Mike involved early, Latte. We've seen it. When he's involved early, the whole team is different. And he's obviously way different.
We've heard his teammates talk about it. When Mike makes a play, it gets everybody juiced up. It reminds me of the All-Star days. Remember, the defense would get up like, oh shit, I'll start up. It just all got up, ready to go. Like Mike makes those kind of igniting plays. Also on the offensive line, shout out to old school Derek Fournier, one of my best friends, the original podcaster of Buccaneers Line. He likes to talk about it or reference it as dancing bears, right? But they're a unit and they're cohesive. And when you're missing a major cog of that unit, everything's going to suffer. So I agree with you, Sammer. The interior has not played great, but that's because everybody's head's kind of spinning. That's no excuse. These are professional NFL guys that get paid, right? But they're all trying to, hey, do I got to help this guy and do my assignment, or do I got to go over here and help this? It's kind of just discombobulated, man. We just need Luke back. We need Luke back. We need the chemistry. We need everybody to just settle in and fucking relax on the offensive line and then start developing, the young guys that are in the interior. But right now it's like, everybody's head's just fucking spinning.
Yeah, and Liam talked about it. Baker talked about it. It's like you got to get Mike involved. We've got to get the ball to Mike. We got to get him rolling again. Because, I mean, what's crazy, Latte, is in that Lions game, we won the game. He only had 6 targets, and you're like, yeah, it's fine. They kind of went away from him. We had to. Chris Godwin went ridiculously, nuclear, so it was okay.
Because of the way Mike drew the coverage on that touchdown, though.
Correct.
Yeah.
But that didn't look like that against the Broncos. He only had 3 targets against the Broncos. I know Pat Surtain is good, one of the best in the league, but he's faced great corners before. That's not the point. It's figuring out ways to get him the ball. And again, Luke plays a part of that. But man, we need to get Baker back in rhythm too and on track. I think he, like I said, he self-admitted all that stuff. He said, I got to stay in there. Liam said, we've got to stay on rhythm and we've got to make the passes when they're there. We can't bail out of the pocket early and take away the opportunities that Mike did have, by the way, if you look back at the Broncos game. So in this game, can't do that. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that I started talking about the dancing bears and shouting out Derek and all that stuff. At the end of the day, when we get that offensive line and the cohesiveness back, then we can do what we've been doing, which is go downfield and target Mike, because he did break open a couple times late. But by that point, I'm not saying Baker's perfect. I am a Baker bro. There is a lot that fell on his shoulders last week. He did escape the pocket too early. He did run into some sacks. But I mean, you start hearing ghosts out there. These guys they're not, this isn't Anthony Richardson. Baker's not 260 pounds rocked up, and that guy gets hurt, right? Like no quarterback wants to get hit. So you start to hear, footsteps and ghost and fuck, I'm gonna escape out of here and feel, false pressure. So we need to level that out so that we can get Mike involved and target Mike on the field. Mike can do what Chris does, but it's just not his game. You're not going to throw screens to Mike and bubble screens and stuff to get him involved that way. You can, however, throw him slants like Sammer was begging for all last year, and they did it in this game. Do it again. Do it early. Do it early and often. And then when they start biting on the fucking slant, run a fucking slant and go. I don't know. I'm not a coach, but get him involved.
Yeah, that's the other thing too, though. If they can figure out ways to get Chris involved at the same time early on, that'll only make things easier for Mike, because the Eagles are going to start to lean that side and try to take that away from us. But man, just like I said, it's just inexcusable. Like, you could call a quick slant. You can get Mike going. You can get the offense rolling, and just especially against this team where they're going to try to get that pressure up the middle, regardless of Luke or not. They're going to try to get that pressure up the middle in Baker's face. And you talked about the 12 sacks, Latte. 12 sacks is just half the equation. You're also getting hit after every fucking pass. You're also getting pressure. You're also running for your fucking life. And eventually, you're like, he didn't have time to catch his breath the last 2 weeks, it seemed. Even when he was going back to the huddle before that little quarterback draw against the Lions, he was like, yeah, I was huffing and puffing, and I was surprised that he called the play, but I sucked it up. So, like, imagine when you're just running for your life like that. And so I'm not making that as an excuse for Baker. Baker's got to play better. Cannot play like that.
You don't got to go any further than the Lions game, when we were all rejoicing like we won the fucking Super Bowl with a depleted team. We went up there and we did that. We did that. The coaches, the players, we did that. We know what we're capable of. We had a bump on the road with Denver, but you don't have to go further than that game, right? We didn't sack Goff. We just pressured the fuck out of him and made him very uncomfortable. In the fourth quarter, just like I said about Baker, that motherfucker was seeing ghosts. He did not want any part of that. That last throw was because of the accumulation of pressure and getting hit after he let the ball go. Those guys don't want to get hit, man. That shit don't feel good. It doesn't feel good getting hit by a 250-pound lineman. By the way, somebody asked about Ramirez. He might dress eventually, because we got to start getting some pressure, Sammer.
Yeah, I was about to go back to that. You talked about that Lions game and Stafford. They weren't sacks, so he kind of accepted it because it forced turnover against Goff. Sorry, so it created pressures that turned into turnovers and failed third downs and fourth downs. So it was okay. But then last week, just nothing. And this week, Jalen Hurts, if you give him time, I don't think he's a great passer of the football necessarily, but if you give him time, he fucking can be. I mean, it's not that hard. And especially in this day and age, like, anybody can get open in the NFL if there's time. Eventually, you just get open because you are at a disadvantage as a defense, because they know the route they're running. You don't. You're reacting most of the time. So if we can be the ones that are causing the reaction, be the ones that are actively chasing after Jalen Hurts is a much different quarterback when he's being rushed and he doesn't have a run game. And so the Falcons kind of started to touch on that. Not the Falcons, sorry. The
Saints.
The Saints kind of touched on that. Packers touched on it. And then I think they played the Falcons too, and they should have won that game. But the Falcons
should have. Saquon lost the touchdown, dropped the touchdown.
They were in his face. So you got to get in their face. So there's a blueprint there. But again, you still got to stop the run. That's the problem.
Got to stop the run. And Sammer, I'm going to say this now because it happened against Washington week 1, even though we had a great defensive performance, right? But we caught Jaden Daniels early. He had a hell of a rushing performance. Same thing last week. Can we please set the edge and stay in your fucking gaps, guys? Stay in your gaps. Because listen, Bo Nix carved us up at the worst times. Made big time third down conversions, all that stuff, because we didn't stay in our gaps and hold the line and hold our responsibility, right? We do this with this guy. This ain't fucking Bo Nix. Like, Jalen Hurts will fucking run 88 out the gate, 50-yard touchdown on your ass. You cannot let him step up and through like we talked about last week, up and through, and he will carve you up. Between him and Saquon on the ground, they will fucking destroy us if we don't stay, gap integrity or stay in our gaps and stuff.
The other thing too, Latte, if he extends plays, he's Roger-esque. He's looking to pass. And if he has the ability to just kind of float without anybody being near him to extend that play even longer, he's going to fucking kill you. He's going to kill you down the field. That's what he's like. Bo Nix wasn't looking to pass. He's like, I'm running for my life and I'm getting yardage. And he did a damn good job at it. Jalen Hurts can do both. He can get out of there. He can turn that play into a 15, 14, 20 yard more than that down the field, which is.
I was going to say, Russ Wilson S, bro. He will throw a bomb for 50 yards over your head, bro. He will make you pay. So
he doesn't want to run. He also doesn't like the label of being a running quarterback. So he's looking to pass the ball because of that, almost like intentionally. But again, you rush him to make bad decisions, like any quarterback. I think he plays in our hands. But man, need Vita and need Luke, both sides here.
Somebody just said, "Did y'all finally cut Stank? About time. Send them to Carolina with Canales."
But Chuck Huffmaster made a comment too. Some of the O-line problems are having a rookie at center. It's going to take time for Barton to get comfortable and confident call blocking assignments. Yeah, listen, we've said it on Twitter, on here a couple of times. Barton has his moments where he's really, really good. But in the pass game, he's struggling a little bit. He's not used to reacting as quickly from left to right, from right to left, depending on how guys are stunning him, whenever bodies are showing up that he's not expecting. There's plenty of people that break down the film on that and show it. He's just not good at that yet. And he's going to be. I don't think he's going to be a fucking, waste of a pick. I think he's going to be a stud. But he's got to learn through some of that. And again, some of that is also, he's got protections a lot. He's got protections assignment. That's his job as a center. They're not taking it lightly off it. Like, he's fully responsible as a fully starting center.
Zach, I love you, but you got to stop, bro.
Not this guy. They ran the ball 50 times last week for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
You got to stop. He's surrounded by way better guards around him. It's a different situation. He's played center his entire college football career.
Yep.
Barton was drafted as a projection, and so far, not bad for a fucking rookie. I'll be honest with you, not bad. Ups, downs. When you see the flash, you're like, holy shit, I see why. Maybe, and I think SR mentioned it out to him. Maybe they should have played him at guard this year. Like they floated out the idea and put Hainsey at center and then let him transition over. I think Sam mentioned it as well, and then let him transition over to center later on. He played tackle. He's a freakish athlete with a mean streak. He can do it all. That's why they drafted him. Period.
Yeah.
I love Frazier. He was awesome. Love his tape. It didn't happen. We can't bring this up every week now, bro. I love you. It's done.
My thing, Latte, is he's not, and I think it takes time to become that unless you've been consistently playing center nonstop, which is why Frazier looks so good. He's coming in from playing center. This kid's switching back over to playing center that he hasn't done since he was a freshman at Duke, and they think he'll be a very good center, but the physical, beat your ass mentality comes when you're not thinking as much, because now you kind of go to muscle memory on the thought process of being a center, and then you can just go out there and play some ball and be aggressive and be violent. Graham's not violent right now unless it's in the run game, and in the passing game, he's reacting. He's doing, again, he's responding to what he's seeing, sometimes not quick enough, because he's not anticipating it, because again, it's not second nature yet because he's been so far removed from it. But
a half second late.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks to be like put in Hainsey, but you kind of lose the running power that you get from Graham Barton, which doesn't look great right now. Don't get me wrong, but I think he's a better run blocker than Hainsey would be. But I mean, it is what it is. They kind of knew that going in, right? They understood that. But the pressure up the middle is not only on Graham, and the offensive line is not just because of Graham. Bredesen didn't play well last week. Mock has played like absolute garbage. Obviously, Skule is not a fucking starting anything in the NFL, and Tristan Wirfs hasn't been Tristan Wirfs-esque. So all this stuff kind of leads to whatever we saw last Sunday and kind of what we saw in Detroit.
Pretty much.
Oh, all right, listen, people are pretty happy, by the way, that Stank's not here. Maybe we should just do these two guy shows more often.
Just fire Stank? No, not going to happen, bro.
Jonas said, Kamara has been swinging his third leg more than his actual kicking leg. Listen, it's hard. You ever had something that big? You can't keep. It's hard not to play with it. It's hard to keep your hands off.
Can't confirm or deny.
Yeah, it's a little difficult. All right, Latte. What are your keys to this game and your score prediction? I'm gonna go with the assumption that Luke Gedeke, as been reported, is expected to pass concussion protocol today. He practiced with the team fully, by the way. So in terms of the reps, he wasn't being held back from anything. He was with the team as opposed to individual type stuff. So it's still on track that he will, pass concussion protocol. And of course, Vita Vea running out there, playing with the guys, jogging between drills and stuff across the field with the knee brace, I feel like he's going to play. So let's just assume that these two big man beasts end up playing. Go ahead, Keys, and score prediction.
Hey, listen, there's not like 10,000 keys to this game. Stop the run the ball well. Stop the run, stop their run, and we need to run the ball well.
Okay.
There's no magic potion here. Stop the fucking run, and we need to run the ball well, and we will win this game. Shit. No receivers. They got Wilson out there, Goddard. Hopefully we're healthy on offense with Gadecki.
I like Dennis. I like Dennis in this against Goddard, by the way. I like him as a pass or as a
they might go with Britt though.
Guy.
They might go with Britt more, man, because this is going to be a buckle your chin strap type of game. They're going to try and run.
I get it. But I'm saying when they go to that passing set that they have, that dime package when what's his name is out there, I do like Dennis matching up there because he's very good in pass coverage.
Very athletic.
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be a lot of firing of the cannons on Sunday. Let's just get out there with the win 2017.
Okay. So a little bit of low scoring affair. Okay.
2017. Listen, Fangio plays a lot of zone. He plays a lot of that, die by 1,000 cuts and all that shit. So they're not going to give us the explosive unless Baker extends something, Mike gets behind the defense, something like that under that scenario, right? So they're going to make us earn it. They're going to make us run it. I don't think there's going to be much room for explosives. That's why I'm going with that. 2017. Just play good defense. Keep it safe. Let's get healthy. Let's go fuck up Atlanta. How about that?
Yeah, one key to my game here, obviously stop the run. I think if you stop Saquon, and even if we don't necessarily run the ball well, if we stop their run, I think it helps us defend them a lot easier. And obviously, you stop that run, they tend to kind of move away from it. They should be handing the ball off to Saquon more than they are, which is crazy considering what he's done the last 3 weeks. But you force them to kind of play offense, then we can hopefully get after the quarterback. And listen, AJ Brown, no Smith. I'm not afraid of these guys. I know anybody can beat you because it's a quarterback, but I think Jalen Hurts put in that situation, no running game, plays to our favor. But the other side of it, though, we got to start fast. That's my other key. Start fast.
Yeah.
If I'm Todd Bowles, in games past, I've said kick the ball off, defer, go out there, punch the team in the mouth on defense, and then go from there. No, this game, I take that first possession. I don't care about halftime. I don't care about it. I'm taking that first possession, get my scripted plays in, start fast, score first. Score
I
first
like that.
if you're the Bucs.
I like that. You put the pressure on them because then it's like, oh, shit, we got to start. We can't just pound the ground. We got to air it out a little bit. My other key, because I was joking earlier, is what I said earlier. Stay in your fucking lane. Stay in your gaps, guys. Do not let this guy step up and through. Just stay in your fucking gaps.
Stay in the gaps, yeah.
Do your job. Like Warren Sapp used the eye in the sky, don't lie. Just do your job.
Yeah,
don't get fancy. Don't get cute.
The other thing, too, is starting fast, Latte. The other team, they have their set of scripted plays and whatnot, but sometimes you get lucky. They drop a pass, bad bounce. They mess up on a handoff, or they mess up on a snap. Next thing you know, they go 3 and out kind of on accident, not necessarily because you forced them, but now they're 7-0 and you have a chance to go up 10-0, or you have a chance to go up 14-0. And so starting fast gives you that leg up. I know it's not good coming out of halftime. Everybody likes to double dip, but man, I'm not afraid. I'm not concerned with our team trying to double dip. We're not in a position to be that picky yet and that greedy. So start fast, get Mike involved, get Chris involved, get the ball down the field and score. And then you set that tone and you let your boys go out there and start punching them in the mouth, and hopefully you stop the run. Start fast and stop the run, I think, go hand in hand, and we'll get after Jalen Hurts, hopefully.
I think it's important. I think it's important to say because Bat W says if we shut Barkley down, we will win. I think it's important to mention what B Shuck, Hall of Fame of the show, mentioned earlier. There's no shutting down Saquon. We need to limit Saquon. We're not shutting him. He's going to get his. With that O-line and him, they're just going to get his. I gave my score prediction 2017 earlier, by the way.
Yeah, I was doing mine now.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Because I was doing my keys of the game, and you just jump back in and start giving me your keys.
I'm sorry. Listen, somebody's got to take the stank roll every now and then, right? Like I just, I'm a little wacky. Go ahead. My bad.
Listen, I don't think we've gone against big boy running backs and big boy offensive linemen, and we've stopped running backs that are studs before in terms of people. Oh, you just got to slow them down. He's going to get a couple here and there, yeah. But if we put that brick wall up a few times, they will move away from giving him the ball. But that doesn't mean he's not going to be touching the ball in other ways, obviously. I mean, that's a big thing. But he had a massive game last week, so they're rolling right now. So they're going to try to establish that first. If we stop it, slow it down, get a lead, they're going to start to kind of panic. They're going to press a little bit. Jalen Hurts, one of those guys that presses and he causes mistakes. I mean, he's not looked good. So make him be the guy that beats you. And I think at the end of the day, if that happens, and it is what it is. But you can't take Stank's role. You have a brain in your head. That's massive. That's a massive part of it too. Yeah. Seemingly, you would have to be completely brainless to be Stank. My score prediction, Latte. 26-22. Weird game.
I like it.
Weird game. 26-22. That stupid kicker, McKicker, comes through for us and nails a couple of big ones in the second half there to kind of keep that lead going. And
I still don't know his name. Fucking McKick. I don't know.
I don't ever want to know his name. I don't care.
Neither do I. I walk away. I go take a piss when he's kicking. I don't even pay attention.
I only know one kicker's name, Matt Gay. That's all I know.
A big gay kicker.
Yeah, that's our boy, man. I don't care. I hope he comes back and retires a Buck. That's got to happen.
I still text with him. It's fucking. That's our boy. Fifth member of the show.
That's my guy. Yeah.
But you were saying about shutting down stuff. Listen, no team, even if you're good and full strength, wants to be one dimensional. So if like Sammer said, if we can shut it down a couple times and then score and put the pressure on them, put the onus on them. No team wants to be one dimensional because it's not conducive to success. You do that when you're down AJ Brown, Devonta Smith. I like it, but we got to do our job. We got to limit Saquon somehow.
The other thing of note too, Latte, last week we saw a couple of like gadgety, very well dressed plays that went to Bucky. I think the Bucs need to pull a couple of these out in this game. They need to create that misdirection and work the defense's momentum against them because these guys are younger guys and they're hungry and they're very aggressive. I think they're overly aggressive. So maybe some screens over top, slow them down, use our momentum against them with these misdirection plays. The counter run in this offense, one of the best runs that we actually block for. We just don't call it very often. We insist on being the outside zone team or inside zone team. Let's just do what we do best. How about that? Let's run the counter and let's do, misdirection is great. It's very hard to defend that even if you're a good defense because it's literally moving you one way, boom. The other way is where you're actually trying to run the ball. So let's see if we can put together some of these trickery, I don't want to call them trickery because it's not really trickery, but in that counter run that Bucky had, traditional counter run, but it had a lot of dressing and Rashad was used as that, eye candy and the defense went to him and Bucky had his way. So let's see some of that too in this game.
I would love to see some of that.
Love it.
Let's just do our fucking jobs. That's it, guys. I got nothing else. Okay. There's a fucking hurricane going on outside. I don't know what else you want from me. Okay.
Yeah, man. All right, boys. Make sure you guys hit the like button and hit that subscribe button if you are new and leave us a comment. Let us know what your score prediction is, or maybe your keys to the game, who you think we need to stop in order to make this, terrible taste in our mouth go away from last weekend's loss to the Denver Broncos. Also, don't forget to go to youtube.com/@the813TV and like our other YouTube channel that will soon one day be, putting these shows on as well. And of course, check out the813.tv for a ton of Bucs content, articles. We got videos from Rock Riley. We got the Loose Cannons podcast being hosted on there as well as the other shows that we have. So we'll see you guys on Monday after a dub and victory shades.
I say this. B-Shuck is right. Candy corn is fucking disgusting, Sammer.
You're crazy, dude. What?
Fucking disgusting, man.
You're crazy.
Not crazy. That is one of the most horrible takes I've ever had. It's disgusting.
Why do you hate it? Why do you hate it? Nobody explains to me why they don't like it.
Basically, I will tell you, the texture, it's wax. It's fucking candle wax. It's disgusting, man. It's chewy, but you can't chew through it. It gets stuck in your teeth. It's disgusting. It is horrible.
People hate on it because other people hate on it. That's it. There's it's so ridiculously hated for no reason.
You probably like Peeps too. You sick fuck. You like Peeps too?
Nah, man. No, that's disgusting. Okay, those are disgusting. Yeah, but candy corn, very good candy.
It's wax. It's candle wax.
I don't care what it is. It tastes good, dude. You're crazy.
It doesn't taste good.
Yes, it does. No, you're crazy. There's tons of people.
Like you're putting a flavored mouthpiece in your.
It's 50-50 out there. Okay, I'm just saying.
No, it's not. It's gross. Everybody say gross. Everyone says gross.
Candy corn is made with ranch? Absolutely not. It might be made with blue cheese. It's so good. It might be made with blue cheese. You clear the taste with crying eagle screams. Yep, it's disgusting. You guys are all fucking haters, man. I'm gonna go
By the
have
way,
some candy corn. So fuck you.
Cali
guys.
Buck said that Stank texted his prediction 31-12.
Yep. Sounds about right. That's what he's done 3 straight. That'll be 4 weeks. Yeah. So, yep. All right. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And we will see you guys on Monday. Go Bucs.
It's kickoff, set it off. Go to Vegas, bet it all. Put it on the Bucs to win. Whoever they gon' play gon' fall. Don't say I ain't told y'all. Loose cannons gon' fold y'all. Yeah, the Heat be 9-3, but it gets real cold in the fall. That's when the season start. Bucs come in 40 hard. Win after win, ripping the division apart. Panthers, they pussycats. Falcons got bird flu. Take the Ravens and Dolphins and open up a zoo. Cause one thing's for sure, better than the Bucs, they show lane. And every day in Tampa Bay, we say fuck the Saints. We in Tampa Bay, baby. 8-1-3 going